To be clear, we're announcing today indictments in two major cases, both involving fraud. One involves sports betting, and the other involves illegal gambling, very specifically rigged poker games. The first indictment involves six defendants who are alleged to have participated in one of the most brazen sports corruption schemes since online sports betting became widely legalized in the United States. This scheme is an insider sports betting conspiracy that exploited confidential information about National Basketball Association athletes and teams. The second indictment involves 31 defendants alleged to have participated in a nationwide scheme to rig
Ahora escuchamos
illegal poker
los
games.
diferentes cargos que
These
se
defendants,
están
which
eh,
include former professional
anunciando,
athletes,
y entre
used
estos,
high-tech
en el
cheating
segundo hay
technology to steal
31
millions of dollars
personas
from victims
involucradas.
in underground poker games that were secretly fixed. The games in the New York area were backed by the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese crime families of La Cosa Nostra. While the cases are separate, there are three overlapping defendants charged in both
Menciona que todos
cases:
los casos
Damon Jones,
son
Eric
separados.
Ernest, and Shane Hennon. The indictments in these cases contain only allegations, and the defendants are presumed innocent until they are proven guilty in a court of
Y
law.
está mencionando que estas
But my message
personas
to the
están
defendants who've
siendo
been rounded
acusadas
up
de
today is
alegaciones.
this:
Sin embargo,
your winning
eh,
streak has ended.
son
Your luck has run out.
inocentes hasta que
Violating the law
sea
is a
declarado
losing proposition, and
lo
you can
contrario
bet on that.
en la justicia.
First, I would like to talk about United States versus Ernest, the NBA basketball gambling case. The defendants in this case
Ahora
are
tiene
Eric Ernest,
detalles
Marvez
sobre un
Farley,
caso de
Shane Hennon,
apuestas
Deniro
ilegales
Laster,
de la NBA.
Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach, and Terry Rozier, a current NBA player.
Realizado por dos
Other
personas
co-conspirators were previously charged for their roles in the scheme, including former
acaba de
NBA
mencionar,
player
ambos
Jontay Porter. Between December
involucrados en la industria
2022
de la
and March
NBA, de
2024,
la NBA.
these defendants perpetrated a scheme to defraud by betting on inside, non-public information about NBA athletes and teams.
Menciona
The
que ellos
non-public
utilizaron
information
información
included
para
when
poder,
specific players would
información
be sitting out
interna
future games,
para
or when
realizar
they would
estos
pull
crímenes
themselves out early for purported injuries or
utilizando
illnesses. They relied on
información de
corrupt
otros
individuals,
atletas del
including Jones
deporte.
and Rozier. They also misused information obtained through long-standing friendships that they had with NBA
También
players
que
and coaches.
utilizaron
And
información
in
de
at least one
amigos
instance,
de la
they got their information by
de amigos
threatening a
cercanos
current player,
dentro de la
Porter,
industria de la
because
NBA
of his pre-existing gambling debts.
para poder realizar sus
Defendants
trabajos
used this non-public
ilegales
information to
de
place hundreds of thousands
apuestas
of dollars in
ilegales
fraudulent
deportivas.
bets, mostly in the form of prop bets on individual player performance. The bets were placed through online sports books and also in person at casinos. The defendants relied on a network of straw bettors
Él
to
está
place the
dejando saber
maximum
que todos
amount of
estos
bets
movimientos han
to increase
estado
their potential profits.
registrados
Most of
en
these bets
libros y
succeeded,
en casinos.
and the intended losses were in the millions of dollars. The defendants then
Y que han
laundered
podido
their illegal winnings
robar
in
más
various
de
ways:
millones de dólares
peer-to-peer platforms,
dentro de
bank
este
wires, and simple cash
fraude.
exchanges. The indictment details specific examples where the defendants profited from illegal gambling and illegal betting on various NBA games about the performance of players on, among other things, the Charlotte Hornets, the Portland Trail Blazers, the Los Angeles Lakers, and
En
the
la pantalla,
Toronto
en la
Rangers.
pantalla podemos ver
Each defendant in the
cuáles son esos
NBA basketball
cargos
gambling case
de
has
los
been
que
charged
él
with
está
conspiracy
hablando
to
en estos
commit wire
momentos
fraud and
en esta
conspiracy to
conferencia de
commit
prensa.
money
Vamos
laundering.
a retomarlo. Dice por aquí
Now, I would like to
varios,
turn to the other case, United States versus
varios
Aiello,
cargos.
the
Entre
rigged
estos
poker
dice United
case.
States. Ahora
Beginning as
pasaron
early
a
as
otro slideshow.
2019,
Pero
the defendants
más
in this case
adelante les
orchestrated
estaré
a scheme to
haciendo
use
un recuento de todos
wireless
estos
cheating
cargos
technology
que
to run
acabaron de mencionar.
rigged poker games across the United States including in the Hamptons, Las Vegas, Miami, and Manhattan. The scheme targeted victims known as, quote, fish, who were often lured to participate in these rigged games by the chance to play alongside former professional athletes who were known as, quote, face cards. The so-called face cards included the defendant Chauncey Billups, who at the time of the scheme was a former NBA player and is currently the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, and also Damon Jones, a former NBA player and
Ahora las
coach.
personas que nos están viendo a través
What the
de
victims, the
Instagram
fish,
podrán ver
didn't know is that
estas
everybody else
imágenes
at the poker
del
game, from the
slideshow
dealer to the
completamente
players, including the
está
face
hablando
cards, were in on the
las
scam.
autoridades ahora mismo.
Once the game was
Mientras ellos están
underway,
hablando, ustedes van
the
a poder
defendants
ver
fleeced the victims out
esas
of tens
imágenes
or hundreds of
en
thousands of
la
dollars
parte de abajo.
per game. The
Vamos a escuchar un
defendants
poquito
used a
más
variety
sobre
of
qué
very
menciona
sophisticated cheating
las
technologies,
autoridades del FBI
some of which
en
were provided
esta
by other
investigación
defendants
que
in
resultó
exchange
con
for a
varios
share of the
arrestos
profits from the
sobre
scheme.
apuestas
For
deportivas
example,
ilegales
they
y que
used
ya en
off-the-shelf
los pasados minutos
shuffling
hemos
machines,
hablado sobre varias personas que han sido oficialmente acusadas como parte de esta situación de la que estamos hablando en estos momentos.
the off-site operator sent the information via cell phone back to a co-conspirator at the table, and that person at the table was known as the quarterback. The quarterback then signaled secretly the information he had received from others to others at the table, and together they used that information in order to win their games and to cheat the victims. Defendants used other cheating technologies such as poker chip tray analyzers, which is a poker chip tray that secretly reads cards using a hidden camera, special contact lenses or eyeglasses that could read pre-marked cards, and an X-ray table that could read cards face down on the table. What you see depicted on a screen right now is an example of the X-ray table that reveals the cards. Although they are face down on the table, they can be read because of the X-ray technology. The mafia, specifically members and associates of the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese organized crime families, had pre-existing control over non-rigged, illegal poker games around New York City. As a result, they also became involved in the rigged poker games, helping to organize the games and taking a cut of the proceedings, and working to enforce the collection of debts. The defendants laundered their proceeds, including through cash exchanges, the use of multiple shell companies, and through cryptocurrency transfers. As part of the scheme, some of the defendants and their co-conspirators also committed acts of violence, including the gunpoint robbery of a person in order to obtain a rigged shuffling machine, and extortions that were perpetrated against victims in order to ensure that they repaid their gambling debts. Defendants who participated in the rigged poker scheme are charged with wire fraud conspiracy. Other defendants have been charged with crimes including illegal gambling, money laundering, Hobbs Act robbery, and extortions. This case demonstrates our office's unrelenting commitment to fighting the scourge of organized crime in whatever form it takes. I'd like to conclude my remarks by thanking the incredible hard work of our law enforcement partners, including the FBI, Homeland Security, the NYPD, and the Waterfront Commission. I also want to thank the dedicated prosecutors who built these two cases and who are standing to my right. Benjamin Weintraub, David Bourbon, Caitlin Farrell, Michael Gibaldi, Irisa Chen, and Sean Sherman. They had the assistance of paralegal specialists Liam McNett, John Schneider, Marlene Bosler. Also deserving of our thanks because of their outstanding investigative work on the NBA case are FBI special agents Russell Lantier, Dominic Mariani, Amy Giaroso, Shane Wilkins.
Saludos amigos de tampahoy.com. Estamos en vivo viendo una conferencia de prensa en la que las autoridades, el FBI, están anunciando arrestos en una investigación federal sobre apuestas deportivas en la que están incluyendo a figuras de la NBA. Vamos a escuchar un poquito sobre la conferencia de prensa mientras les brindamos los detalles de esta conferencia de prensa que en estos momentos está pasando completamente en vivo con el director del FBI, Patel. Tenemos aquí todos los detalles, pero vamos a escuchar ahora estos detalles en vivo a través de tampahoy.com.